Tonight on CFTK-TV News, the Riverboat Days festivities in Terrace are kicking off tonight. Around 400 families in the Okanagan had to flee their homes due to wildfires. And we take a further look at the creation of the Roundabout's new art piece.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Good evening, I'm Cael Maslin, and here's what's making the news in the Northwest and beyond for today. While the numbers were down compared to this time last year, a devastating total of 292 people still ended up passing away in BC due to drug use in May and June of this year. Among health authorities, Northern Health had the highest drug death rate in the province in 2025, with 44 deaths per 100,000 people, and both Terrace and Smithers are among the highest drug death rates by local health area. Another new part of the coroner's report this time around included the occupations of the deceased, with 22% of all known BC drug deaths in 2025 coming among workers in equipment operation, the trades, and transportation. Terrace's annual Riverboat Days festival is officially set to get underway later tonight, and the entirety of the festivities will last for a little over a week. In a recent interview, Brian Downey, the president of the Riverboat Days Society, talked a bit about what will be taking place as part of the festivities later tonight, as well as some of the new events that are set to make their debut this year, alongside the many regulars like concerts in the park.
We have the opening ceremony here. We'll introduce our ambassador for the Riverboat Days 2025, and we'll have our official opening completed with the boom of the cannon. The Electric Symphony is a music, art, cultural dance. So there's 2 or 3 events as part of it. I think they called it a Lunas Pulse. So tonight there's a family program, and then Saturday there's 1 or 2 events. It is new, it's exciting, there's a lot of work put on to host this, and we expect from Concert in the Park on Saturday there'll be a flood of people going up to these sportsplex for us.
Park Avenue between Caleb and Eby Street will be closed down to traffic while the Riverboat Days parade is ongoing, and the official ambassador for this year's celebration is set to be Stan Bevan, a master carver and artist who helped create the new art piece that was just installed on the Sugette roundabout. And speaking of, at the intersection of Highways 16 and 37 near Terrace, a striking public art installation now bears the name Sugette, a Somaliacs word meaning new people. It was a name gifted in 2019 by the late Kitsalis elder Mel Bevan, a respected community leader and knowledge keeper. Now, years later, that vision has come to life. Helen Asante shares more.
The Skeena Salmon Arts Fest recently released a video capturing Mel Bevan's reflections filmed on the banks of the Skeena River at his old cabin. In it, he shares why Sugette carries deep meaning for the Tsimshian people, a message that the original people have embraced new ways of doing things.
The term Sugette is what we came, because what it means is new. It doesn't mean new people, even though that's what it says, but it doesn't mean new people. It means the people doing different things. It's an old word that's been used for long before I was born.
Mel's son, renowned carver Stan Bevan, was one of the 3 lead artists on the installation. In our interview, he spoke about honoring his father's vision, not just in name, but in spirit.
The inspiration came from meeting with the artists and meeting with Dave Gordon. We discussed what we should put in the roundabout, and the theme was salmon. And so the original plan was we went through 3 different designs, and the third design is what we decided on. We had a really good metal artist in town, and he was being left out. So we went and redesigned it so that the sculpture was something new that I was doing, and something that Mike Sorensen can be involved in with his creation of metal. So my father, the society wanted a name for it, and I went and I asked my father what would be a good name for the piece, and he came up with the name Sugette, which means new people.
Project Director Dave Gordon echoed that sentiment, calling it a unique blend of culture, public space, and living history.
To me, it's a remarkable placemaking site that will last for generations, I hope. It really, I think, represents who we are in the Northwest, helps foster our identity, and gives Indigenous people representation where sometimes that's lacking. It's just been an absolute honor and privilege to work with the artist team and with all the other players on our team and local government, the provincial government. Really need to shout out the Ministry of Culture, Arts and Tourism. They funded the project in its entirety with just one ask from us. I've done a lot of grant writing in my days, and to have one agency come forward with all the funds for a project is really what made it happen. If we didn't have those funds, we'd still be doing bottle drives and trying to fundraise for this.
The artwork stands not just as a visual landmark, but as a story passed from father to son, from language to land. Helen Asante, CFTK-TV News.
The South Hazelton Creek wildfire that sparked a few days ago is still active and has grown to cover a little over 12 hectares. Fire crews are still on site fighting it, and water bombers have managed to keep the blaze sufficiently boxed in. The fire has also still not caused any real threats to nearby communities at this point in time. Coming up next, Abbotsford's police are stepping up their enforcement. Welcome back to the Okanagan now, where 400 families had to flee their homes because a wildfire in Peachland got dangerously close to the homes. More than half have been given the green light to return, but 150 homes remain under evacuation order. CTV's Michelle Bernoro has that part of the coverage.
Planes in the smoky skies continue to battle an out-of-control grass fire, now estimated to be at least 57 hectares.
We've had our skimmer group being supported by a bird dog, and they've been able to action the fire and reduce the fire behavior significantly.
The fire is currently ranked at rank 2 behavior, meaning that the surface fire with some open flame and slow, moderate rate of spread.
But the Joad Hill wildfire spread rapidly Wednesday afternoon along Highway 97 between Peachland and West Kelowna and is believed to have been sparked by a truck fire. The flames caused major backups along the highway and forced an evacuation order of about 400 properties, including the mayor's.
It's always scary for some that when it happens.
Residents were sent to emergency support centers.
They're going to give us some clothing allowance so we can change our shirts, and some grocery allowance. And so that's all we need for the next 24 hours.
Within 2 to 3 hours, everybody has found accommodation through ESS, and also local beach owners took people in.
But Thursday afternoon, a positive development.
We just received notice that a partial evacuation order has been downgraded to an alert. I think we're talking about 125 to 150 houses that will be still on evacuation order, and the other ones, around 250, can go home and are on an evacuation alert.
He said fire retardant had been put down to protect the homes most at risk.
We will remain vigilant because you never know when there's a thunderstorm where it will hit in the Okanagan.
There is a thunderstorm watch for the area and the potential for wind. That, combined with dry conditions, has the coordinated efforts between fire teams working hard to protect properties still at risk. Michelle Bernoro, CTV News, Vancouver.
Next, we go to the Harrison Hot Springs, where the Bear Creek fire outside of the town remains out of control. The last update showed that it had grown to 90 hectares. Sugette Alexander is in the resort town.
And one thing we noticed right away is that the smoke comes and goes. Sometimes you can smell it, sometimes you can't. The fire itself is over that way, and there is concern tonight that it's going to keep tourists away from town. And that is what we've been hearing throughout the day, like the owners of Karen's Cafe and Gifts, who are worried people are getting the wrong idea, that the wildfire has shut the town down.
Oh, no.
We're open.
We're open,
yeah,
for sure.
Everybody's open.
When you have a business out here, most of the time we rely on the tourists to come out during the summer.
Yeah.
And if they don't come out, then that makes it a very difficult winter season.
Yeah, we're definitely getting a lot of questions into our visitor center wanting to just clarify what areas are safe to come to, which includes the village of Harrison Hot Springs, and the rest of the Harrison River Valley is very much open for business.
Now, the Bear Creek fire is expected to spread, and campers at some campsites have been told it's just not safe, but there is confusion. To be clear, so far, the fire remains far from town.
We're a resort municipality, and obviously the lake is a big draw, and the big season for tourism is the summer. So the August long weekend is a big long weekend for a lot of businesses in town.
You know, the 3-4 months is the most important time, and then the long weekends are the most important of those times.
Now, we're told there was a lot more smoke yesterday. Some people said they could actually taste it. If you are thinking of coming down, just check ahead. St. John Alexander, CTV News in Harrison Hot Springs.
With violence amongst young people on the rise, Abbotsford's police are stepping up their enforcements, and it comes after several street fights and robberies and even a tragic murder earlier this year. CTV's Ben Nesbitt has more.
Billy Ledoux was just 15 years old when police say he was stabbed to death in Abbotsford's Larch Park in May. His death, a tragic example of an issue authorities say is on the rise in the city.
Often we are seeing youth out in the community congregating together, getting into trouble, making poor decisions.
Through the first 6 months of the year, Abbotsford police say they've seen a 29% rise in violent crime among young people compared to the same time frame last year.
We've seen more street fights, street-style robberies.
To address the issue, the department's youth squad is making regular home visits to teens considered at risk and teaming up with community partners, including local liquor stores and police across the Lower Mainland, to share information and coordinate their efforts.
The strategy is there to curb that violence, to maintain public safety throughout Abbotsford, and send a message that this is not tolerable.
Advocates say this issue stretches well beyond Abbotsford, especially when it comes to organized crime.
These gangs, some coming from out east, Toronto and Montreal, that are utilizing these kids like dispensable resources. We're seeing this trend all across the Lower Mainland.
Cal Dosange is a veteran police officer and the founder of the Kids Play Foundation, who helps young people stay clear of gang life. He says it's no longer just kids with rough upbringings involved, but those who come from privilege as well.
They have everything they could possibly want, but they are still gravitating towards the lifestyle because it comes with power, violence, intimidation, money.
Abbotsford police are encouraging parents to step in and have conversations with their children, especially if they're noticing changes in their behavior. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Abbotsford.
And now we take a look at both your nightly and weekly weather forecast. On the North Coast, tonight's forecast expects to be mainly cloudy with a low at 12 degrees, and the rest of the week expects clearing conditions at the start, and then rain the rest of the time while the high shifts from 18 to 15 degrees. In the Terrace Kitimat area, tonight's forecast expects a chance of showers at a low of 14 degrees, and the upcoming week should be pretty much all clouds and rain with the high moving from 24 to 17 degrees. And in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, their night should also see a chance of showers, but with a low down at 8 degrees. And as for the next week or so, it'll begin with probable rain, then likely sun before going back to clouds and rain as their high bounces between 25 and 20 degrees. Checking out the highways now, visit Drive BC for the latest and up-to-date conditions, and as always, drive safe out there. Highway 16 has construction work, bridge maintenance, utility work, road sweeping, electrical maintenance, road maintenance work, paving operations, line painting, other maintenance planned, and a special event planned. Highway 37 has bridge construction and crack sealing, and Highway 37A is still dealing with falling rocks between west of Mississauga and east of Stewart. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the view of the province's highway cams. Still to come, police data has revealed the rise in extortion cases in Surrey. Welcome back. Extortion is on the rise in Surrey as police data has uncovered a shocking trend, an increase of extortion calls plaguing South Asian business owners. And as CTV's Dimitra Maragos reports, the opposition is calling on the NDP government to do more to help police solve those crimes.
Scars from an extortion call still visible on Satish Kumar's business.
They did a big damage to the property.
Kumar says after his business was targeted in early June.
I got lost after that.
The calls haven't stopped coming in.
Yesterday I got an extortion call too.
This is not a new problem in Surrey or in Canada.
The Surrey Police Service says earlier this year they were investigating 10 extortion cases.
One is one too many.
But in June, it spiked.
26 is alarming.
Police say part of the uptick in traditionally underreported extortion cases could be due to people being encouraged to report these crimes through their new tip line.
It is very, very concerning that there isn't much being done on the crisis.
But the BC Conservative Attorney General critic says this uptick in extortion reports is much bigger.
The crisis was getting out of hand, and nobody was really talking about it.
Cooner on Thursday penning an open letter critiquing the Attorney General and the NDP government about the growing number of extortion cases in Surrey.
Our police services are doing a good job, but the provincial government has been missing.
Adding he's calling for more resources to investigate these crimes.
You can't just leave a community on their own.
Cooner says as a member of the South Asian community, this impacts him personally and professionally.
This is affecting a certain segment of the population that are entrepreneurs, and they employ a lot of people in the community.
And adds,
I see that more can be done.
As a business owner in Surrey, Kumar echoes Cooner's remarks.
The government are just sleeping.
Dimitra Maragos, CTV News, Surrey.
Anti-violence advocates say women being murdered by men is getting out of control. 5 BC women have been killed in the last month, and there are calls for changes within the justice system and demands for transparency from the province. CTV's Yasmin Gandam has that story.
5 deaths in less than 5 weeks. A vigil to mourn women killed at the hands of men and demand action.
What can be changed going forward so that it doesn't keep happening over and over?
On July 4th, Bailey McCord was attacked with a hammer in a Kelowna parking lot. Her ex-husband, James Plover, has since been charged with second-degree murder.
I think it does send a message that we are in danger, and especially when the man is violent and he has made the threat to kill her.
Son is calling on a coroner's inquest into the death.
We're left with no information about the history of their relationship and all the facts that we would need in order to demand change.
CTV spoke with Attorney General Nikki Sharma earlier this week, who said the system failed the Kelowna mother.
It's horrific. It's an example of a failure of a system to keep somebody safe that actually reached out for help, went through the court process, was searching for safety, and didn't get it.
Just hours before he allegedly killed McCord, Plover had been convicted of assault by choking and uttering threats. He was allowed to walk free while awaiting sentencing.
She was seeking safety from the system, and it wasn't there for her. Is something that I think haunts all of us that are thinking about how we can do better.
Meanwhile, a 51-year-old woman died in Richmond on July 18th. Her partner charged with second-degree murder.
Concerned about how the city and the police is treating male violence against women and dismissing all of our concerns.
In June, an elderly couple was found dead in Abbottzford in an alleged murder-suicide by the woman's partner. Earlier this month, a woman in her 60s from Surrey was allegedly killed by her male partner, and a 40-year-old woman was stabbed to death in Gastown. Police arrested a man who they say knew her.
There's a pattern, and in the case of Bailey, she was fearful for her life, and the police was involved. I think that definitely could have been prevented.
Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Vancouver.
And now we turn our attention to how the stock markets are looking as of today compared to yesterday. The Canadian dollar is up 25/10 of a cent. The price of gold is up $51.20. Oil is down $1.93. Natural gas is down 1 cent. Aluminum is down $30.50. In Toronto, the TSX is down 239.35 points. The Venture Index is down 9.39. In New York, the Dow Jones is down 542.40 and NASDAQ is down 472.32. Still ahead, a rare procedure has allowed a woman to regain her eyesight. Welcome back. A Victoria woman is now able to see her loved ones' faces. It taken the sights of her city 11 years after she went blind. It thanks to a rare procedure called tooth and eye surgery. CTV's Anna McMillan has the story, and a warning, it does include a few medical images.
It's a miracle.
The miracle of sight after 11 years without it.
When I compare it to, being blind, it's pretty fantastic.
Good for you, Gail.
No, good for you. Thank you.
Gail Lane is thanking the doctor who performed the surgery that restored her vision.
It wasn't take off the bandages and, oh my God, I can see. It was gradual.
The 75-year-old Victoria woman says it started with light and movement, and now she can see her loved ones' faces, including her partner Phil, who was blind, and his guide dog.
They were kind of frozen in time for the last decade for me, so they were more afraid of me seeing them than I am of seeing myself.
An autoimmune disorder stole Lane's sight in 2014. We last spoke to her in March after she'd undergone the first of 2 surgeries to get it back.
It's very science fiction-y in my mind.
The procedure is called tooth and eye surgery. Doctors in Vancouver removed one of Lane's teeth, fixed it with a lens, and sewed it inside her cheek, where it grew connective tissue for 3 months. During stage 2 in May, the tooth was attached to the front of her eye to replace her damaged cornea.
It's one of the best feelings in medicine that you can have as a surgeon.
Lane is the first of 3 people to have the surgery in Canada.
To see them go from total dependence back into independence it's highly emotional for all of the staff who are looking after them, and it's thrilling for us.
Dr. Greg Maloney says the operations are part of a pilot project.
We're still working to establish the program as a funded ongoing service in Canada.
If that happens, he says the surgical team will be able to help more people like Gail.
What a feeling to be able to get any amount of sight back. The more the better, of course, but after having been blind, to be able to see anything is a wonderful thing.
Anna McMillan, CTV News, Victoria.
That's all of our news for now. From everyone here at CFTK-TV News, I'm Cael Maslin, and thank you for watching. We will see you next time.